Hello and welcome back to House Flipper 2 and the Great Sandbox tutorial. In today's episode we are going to cover ceiling windows or sunroofs, moon windows, whatever you want to call them. There are a couple of different options for doing these, and so I wanted to provide a couple of different looks and feels. So you can see I've got a couple different housing setups here, and we'll start with perhaps the easiest one. So this here is a home with a flat roof. And this one's the easiest because all we simply have to do is go into our building, architectural elements, and into the resizable. And then we can go into an option here called glass ceiling. And you can just simply place it exactly where you want to put it, resize it, and now you have a nice glass ceiling. Now, obviously you can do other things, like you can, demarcate your area that you want to do this in. So like, let's say we want to do 5x5s, grab our little glass ceiling there, and you can build all sorts of really cool designs. Real simple, easy process. And it's as simple as that when you're dealing with a flat roof. And then we can obviously kind of colorize that a little bit. There we go. Now it doesn't look so awkward. And bam, we're done. And if we were to go back outside here and fly mode up here, you can see it's all done all the work for us. Looks nice and pretty, exactly the way we want it. So this is a fairly easy process. Now let's say you are dealing with a roof like this. This is a gable roof. Looks nice. We're just moving into fly mode. But we want to be able to put the same kind of thing. We want to be able to have an angled sunroof here. A window into the roofing. Well, this is a little bit harder. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to match our sizing here. So I'm going to take my gable roof and I'm going to click on resize. And I'm just going to move it in a little bit here. There we go. Now I'm going to make it even on both sides here. So there's 8 blocks in, 8 blocks in. Alright, so we're nice and even. This is the sizing that I want. So what I want to be able to do is to get a sunroof here and a sunroof here, and then we'll leave the other side empty. Actually, you know what? Let's do the sunroofs on this side so we get that sun coming in. Okay, so first and foremost, what we're going to try to do is to get a sloped roof to match exactly this side here. So I'm going to go into my roof. I'm going to change to sloped. And we're going to rotate it a little bit. There we go. Alright. I clicked it before I was ready. Alright, there we go. So that is exactly the size that we want. We can go grab our copy tool and copy the style over. Maybe also grab this, bring that over. There we go. Alright. So we got one piece done. Now what I want to do is just copy this piece and bring it over here. And I'll just get this into position here real quick. If I can. There we go. Alright, so now we're into position. The only thing I don't like about this method is it kind of leaves a little bit of a gap. If that really bothers you, you can always turn off grid snapping and just move it slightly over to see if you can get it to fix, but I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab this again. We're going to place it here, and I'm going to move it into position. Oops, turn my grid snapping back on. There we go. So now we're back into position. We're going to take it again, and we'll paste it again. Get that back into position. Beautiful. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to resize this into the size that we want to go with. So let's say we're going to go with 4. We'll do the same on this side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on line. So 5 blocks, not 4. Nice and simple, easy to do. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take that piece again. We're just going to paste it again, we're gonna, whoops, didn't mean to do that. We want to move them into position. Oops. Okay, and then I'm going to resize it to get it to the right size. There we go. So these two pieces are what we're going to manipulate. Or at least we're going to try to. So we're going to take this and we're going to bring it in so that we're at, let's say, 3 pieces. Alright, so we're going to try to position that in place. There we go. It is positioned. We're going to take the same for this. Oops. Resize. So we have 1, 2, 3. We're going to move it up into position. Alright, now let's copy those again. And we're going to put them down here. So now we have a nice position here where we can put in a sunroof, a moon window, whatever you want to call it. I'm personally going to use the glass wall. And as we said before, that's roughly about 4.5 blocks wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this down on the ground. And I'm going to make it just a little bit taller. I'm going to take the move tool. I'm going to bring it up here. And I'm going to make sure that I get it a little bit higher than where I want it. And then I'm going to turn off grid snapping. This is very important. So once you get it kind of up there, turn it off. We're going to rotate it down. We're going to get it a little bit closer to the roof. And then you'll notice there's an option here called drop, or the R button. When I do that, it drops it right into position and takes the angle of the roof. So now we have the right angle that we want this to be in. And now we just move it into the way we want it. And then drop it down in. And now we can do the same thing over here. We'll move that up, move that in, angle it, down, drop, bring it over, position, maybe a little bit more. There we go. Move that over and push it in. There we go. And so now if we walk inside our house, got a whole bunch of extra lights here. You can see we now have a sunroof. One thing about this is things aren't going to line up. That's okay. You can always, just paint it all the same color. That'll get it all to look at least lined up and give you a nice look and feel. Again, pretty easy method. Once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty smooth. Now, sometimes I don't like to use roofing pieces or flat roofs. I still want that angle. So in this case, what I've done is I've created this with a whole bunch of triangles. Now, in this case, we can take this in order to build a sunroof, and we can just move these over. Just like that. And then we could take a copy of these. Let's turn grid snapping on. There we go. Oops. Copy. Move. Alright, and then we're going to have to take a copy of this twice. And we'll move this back up into position. There's that one. And we'll take this one, flip it around, and there we go. Now, just to make this a little bit easier on us, we're just going to make it white for right now. Oops, if I can get the right palette color here. There we go. Alright, so now we have a nice little gap here where I want to put a sunroof. And again, I'm just going to grab my piece. I'll do it right there. Make it a little too tall. And then again, I take the move tool, turn off grid snapping, rotate, push it down a little bit, drop it. It's now into the right position here. We can move it down and push it in. And then just for added help, we can colorize the inside of this with maybe black here. And there we go. We turn the light on in here. And now you can see we got a nice sunroof coming in. Very easy method. But these are a little bright. There we go. Yeah, so a couple of different options there for building sunroofs. You know, with the option where you use your own custom roof with triangle pieces. The option where we're doing it with the ceilings. And then an option here for a flat roof. Now, I have had some items too where people want to know how to make like a greenhouse, for instance. So again, if we were to take and just build a very simple foundation here, if we were to take these pieces, whoops, we're going to turn off snap grid here so we can get this to the very edge. So let's say we want to build right here. Let's just do this for right now. Alright, so let's say we want to build a triangle roof here with these triangle pieces, or with these glass walls. We can take our triangle piece here. I'm going to do it right here. I don't think I'm even here, but we'll do one here. Let's go with a nice good angle there. Yeah, I think that'll be good. All right, so now we'll turn our grid snapping on, and we'll bring it up into place and resize the piece. So the idea is that when we take and grab our glass wall here, we're going to resize it 3, I believe that's right, and then turn off our grid snapping, bring it down, rotate it. Now we don't want it to fall too far or else it'll slide down. And so now what I'm going to do is just very carefully get it so that the edge of that black just disappears. There we go. And then I'll move it down into position, and then I will grab my resize and move that right there. And so now I've created a nice little guide. I've gotten these down pretty much into position I want them in, and then I can rinse and repeat until I'm done. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed and learned a few things about making sunroofs and moon windows and all that fun stuff. And hopefully you learned a few things. Alright, thank you, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.